Hello there. It is Shar from Living Charmed. And it's another episode of Living Charmed Live, number 12, actually. Today, I'm going to talk about self-value, esteem alignment, and resetting. Originally, Val was supposed to be on with me today, my co-host, and we were supposed to do our body reset show, but she couldn't come on today, which is totally fine. You know what? Life is all about going with the flow and figuring things out and then going with plan B. So I thought what I'd talk about today is a little bit more about what it is that I do as a coach, life and relationship coach, and what, again, how Charmed fits into all of that, right? So in the coaching industry, when you start coaching, you're taught to choose a niche, and I got really stuck there, not because of I didn't know what I could coach in or what I could relate to, but because I could relate to so many things. I have lived quite a life, and I have done a lot of things. I have fallen a lot. I have had some successes. I always get back up and I always reset myself. So I got really good at the reset. And because I had a really hard time choosing that niche, I just started kind of coaching people and just seeing where I would land, right? Just started working with different types of people. And what I realized is 99.99% of the time, it came back to their esteem being out of alignment, either too high, too low, just really out of whack. Their sense of self, their relationship that they had with themselves. Many times people come to me with their relationship issues, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, it always starts with self, because that's the one relationship that we can really control and work on, right? It's the only one, in fact, because we can't make, sadly, other people into who we want them to be. We can inspire change, we can do all that sort of thing, work with them, but at the end of the day, we're ultimately many times going to be disappointed in people because they don't quite meet our perceived expectations. How can they? How do they know what they are, right? And vice versa, right? We can't always meet theirs. So, I've been coaching for about 7 years now, and my training consisted of my certification training. I took 2 years to do it, and I took the full 2 years to do it because I really wanted to dig in. I learned under two wonderful doctors, and I received my certification that way. Also, I'm always learning. I'm always every day. I'm learning every day. I take time to grow, and I do that through either I look up things, read videos, follow certain people that I really admire. I learn from my clients all the time, and I love that. Always valuable things to learn there. The one thing though that I find has guided me the most is my own life experience. I can't work with somebody that I can't relate to, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I can relate to a lot of different issues. I am grateful for all of my life experiences and even my mistakes. In fact, I might be able to say that I'm especially grateful for my mistakes, because that's where I learned the most. That's where we learn the most, is from our mistakes. And we need to choose to grow and get better rather than stay bitter, because life does happen to us. It will happen to us. It's going to happen to us no matter what, good and bad, right? The bad, we don't always enjoy the bad, but you know what? We know it's going to come our way, and why not be set up for that, right? So I got really good at the setup. My childhood, I had a fantastic family upbringing. Was it perfect? Nobody's is, of course not, but it was really good. And there's a lot of people in my life that will attest to that. Relatives, long-standing family friends and stuff that saw my family life. People would come and hang over at our house because we were the house to be at, right? So that being said, it's quite possible to have a very good family unit and all the support and love there, but still have a messy life, because you still have to go into the real world, and there's real hurts in the real world, and there's hurting people, and hurting people hurt others, unfortunately. So the damage can be done either way, right? And a lot of times, we're influenced by the people around us. Do you believe, so for me as a child, I was small, very short, red hair, bright red hair. I had a lot of quirks. I was well loved at home, but I go into the real world and find out that, whoa, maybe I'm not so cute. Maybe I'm not so lovable. So who are you going to believe? The people that have to love you, your family, or the real world? Right? The perceived real world. And, a lot of times people will attack you just because they're not happy with themselves. In fact, most times, happy, healthy people don't go out of their way to attack others in a negative way. It's just the way it is. So, we can pass hurts along, and life and our relationships influence us. So if we don't have a really good standard of where we are, where we sit, if our esteem is out of alignment and not set up, it's no, you know what, people can come along and knock us out of alignment anytime we want. So we need to have that really good balanced place. We need to get there, know how to get there, and stay there. Right. My esteem at times has been lower than low, and it has affected my life in many ways. So, I found that the clients I was happened to be getting, I could easily recognize that. I got very, very good at quickly recognizing that. I soon figured out that it was my gifting, and I believe that God meets us where we are at. I believe that when we take a step into our gifting and we just start taking those steps, that he'll meet us where we're at, and he will bring those gifts out in us so that we can help others, right? That's what we're here for, to help each other out. So, you know what? There's nobody that is any better than me. And there's nobody that is any lesser than me. We are all the same. We're all on the same plane. We're all, we're all the same. And it's nobody's better, nobody's less than, right? It's not wealth. It's not how we look physically. It's not our whether we're physically fit, whether we're beautiful, how smart we are, how creative we are. It's all relative. Really, you know what? It's within the heart and who we are, and we all have value. We all do. We just need to know what our giftings are and where our value lies, and bring that all to the surface. And that's what we need to focus on, really. So, today I wanted to talk a little bit about, how do you know if your esteem is out of alignment? It is quite possible to have an esteem that's out of alignment and not even know that that's kind of where the problem lies, because a lot of times there's a lot of things that are going on in our lives, and we would never guess to think that it could just be something like that. So I'm going to start with the obvious ones, right? So extreme shyness, right? Social awkwardness, feeling inadequate and not good enough, feeling like you don't measure up, right? A big one, looking to others for validation. You are not going to find your self-value in others, in other people. You're not going to find it there. It's right in the word. It's self-value. You have to value yourself. The most important relationship and the most valuable relationship you have is when you have with yourself and your creator, which I believe is all wrapped into one, but that's a whole other subject. But that is where the value comes from. If you don't get it, if you're looking for others for self-validation and for self-value, you are not going to have an esteem that's in alignment, because very rarely are you going to get that. Yes, people will give you, compliments and they're, and actually well-balanced people will appreciate you and vocalize that to you. But you know what? Sadly, a lot of people are way out of alignment there. So you're not going to get it there, because most people are concerned with themselves. So when you're obsessed with others and there's comparison, right? And you can't be happy for other people that have good things going on for them. That's another symptom of being whether your esteem is out of alignment, right? Conceit and vanity. is a big one. If your esteem is set really high and you feel like you're better than everybody else and that, you're just top notch and you're just all consumed with yourself, that's way out of whack. And actually, a person that is overcompensating in that way is the insecurity reeks from them and they don't even know it, and it's quite sad. It's not confident. It's not confident at all. Conceit and vanity, there's a very big difference between comfortable confidence and conceit and vanity, and it's a way out of whack way to be. When you think that things don't are never going your way, nothing's ever going your way, and it thinking that everybody else has it easy, but you aren't, and that life is really keeps dealing you lemons, and you're the only one. I want to tell you that everybody has lemons in their life. Facebook, social media, and all that stuff. We've heard it before. People show the good parts of their lives. People want to show that off. There are people that air their dirty laundry on there, and they're just desperate people asking for help and stuff. But you know what? Everybody has something that they're dealing with and that they struggle with. Let me tell you, this life, nobody gets out unscathed. We all have stuff that we have to deal with. So you are never the only one and not alone. It's this thing called life. Our life and relationships are they can be difficult. And that is why it is so important to have your self-esteem in total alignment. It's really an important thing to have, because when you have that, you can deal with all kinds of things on a whole other level, right? So when one or more of your relationships is off track or has a lot of strife in it, or you're always feeling misunderstood by one or more people, that's another one, right? Not happy with your income choice, with what you've decided to do for a job or a career, and just feeling that you don't even know what you want to do for your life work. You should enjoy your life work. But you know what? It's 30% of our lives. You should be enjoying that. You should always try to choose something. Sometimes we can't always do that, and we might have to take jobs on the way to doing what we want to do, but you should always be looking to for something that you enjoy doing, because we have to work, most of us do, and if you have to work, you should enjoy it. You should even try to love it if you can. Inability to reach goals, that's another one, right? If you're always, you want to set goals and you just can't seem to get there, it's just a lot of self-sabotage that goes on, and a lot of times it's really hard to reach those goals when your esteem is not in alignment, believe it or not, right? So not knowing what it is that you love to do, not knowing what you like to do in life, not being able to, make decisions sometimes, right? The right decisions. That's another one. So that's just a few ways that that you're out of alignment, right? That some of the things that you deal with when you're out of alignment, when your esteem is out of alignment, when you're dealing with one or more of those on a regular basis, right? Like, we all deal with some or one of those from time to time, but when it's more often than not, right, then that there's something, when there's something out of whack, and if some of those things or one or more of those things are something that you're dealing with, then that it's something that you may need to look at, right? So what kind of emotions would a person that has an esteem that's out of alignment struggle with, right? There's many, but some of them: despair, right? Just a feeling of despair in your gut. There's something's not right. There's just something really off, right? And you don't even know why, right? Overwhelm, feeling overwhelmed and stressed out a lot of the time. Anxiety and depression, that goes hand in hand with, with not being able to get your esteem in alignment. Confusion, feeling confused, not knowing what's wrong with you. What's wrong with me? Why am I like this? What blah, blah, blah. That's another emotional symptom, right? Jealousy and envy, big one. That's a big one to let you know that your esteem is way out of alignment. A feeling of inadequacy, right? Complacency, that's another one. When you just feel complacent, that's just kind of giving up. I don't want to, I don't care anymore. I don't care. Just doesn't matter. Nothing matters. That's another one, right? Impatience. impatience with others, impatience with yourself. Why are my life and relationships always out of whack? Something's wrong, right? Always something wrong, right? Feeling stuck, feeling stuck and not knowing how to move forward, not knowing what you want, right? That's another one. Overindulgence in substances, food, alcohol, escapes, right? Just wanting to escape, gaming, over indulging in it. You know what I mean? Like just over it. You all know, everybody knows when you're overindulging in something. Nobody has to tell you. You know it. And people will bring it up to you too. People are really good at bringing things up to you. But you know what? People know. People know what's going on, right? Anything that's overindulging in anything that's destructive and that causes self-sabotage, right? Because that's another. Ironically, we overindulge in these things and we sabotage ourselves, then we feel worse about ourselves. So we're stuck in this vortex and not really knowing why or how we're here or how to get out of it, right? Feeling isolated and unloved, another one. Panic-stricken moments where you just like going, I just not knowing what to do and feeling so stuck and so overwhelmed and having all these emotions coming at you at once. That's another one, right? Feeling like it can and never will change, right? So that's a lot of emotions that come up when you're struggling there. There's more than that, obviously, but here's the thing. Again, every one of us has these feelings now and then. We even have days where we have these kinds of feelings come at us. Sometimes when we're tired, there's reasons that will happen, right? We can just be tired. We just need a day. We just need to ride the wave, right? Because we're going to have those days. But if you have these feelings and or symptoms that I mentioned earlier, more than 30% of the time, that is a really good indication that you need to get to work on the relationship that you have with yourself and aligning your esteem. 30% doesn't sound like a lot, but if you think about it, we sleep 33.3% of our day, right? We work 30%. We've got things going on. So 30% of your free time. And so if you find yourself thinking of that, most of you are thinking about this 50, 60, 70% of the time. And you already know that something's not right, but you just can't put your finger on what it is. So, we should be at a level where we feel content and happy and comfortably confident in our own skin. That's where we should be. That's where it should be. Because again, our life and our relationships are going to come at us, and they're going to come at us whether we're well balanced or we're not well balanced. So we might as well get in a well balanced place so that we have the tools and the strengths to deal with it when it does come at us, right? We just want to be there, right? So then you can be in a really well balanced place. You can have that going on, and then life and or relationships can knock us out of balance, right? A breakup, a divorce, right? A job loss, life and relationship transitions, grief from all sources. Again, especially our furry little friends. Losing our furry babies and dealing with that, and any kind of grief from loss, whether it be breakup, by death, or anything, any kind of loss, can really throw us out of whack. And we really have to stay connected and self-aware when these things happen to us, right? There's all kinds of things that can knock us out of alignment as well, right? So we have to always be aware and on guard, self-aware, right? And, we need to get to the place that we need to be at. Then we need to be able to reset ourselves when these things do come at us, and know how to reset ourselves, right? Know how to get back up and get back up better, because you always want to get back up better, right? So what can you do? What are some things that you can do? There's a lot of things that you can do. First off, you need to want to be in that comfortably confident place. You need to want to have that freedom, the feeling of freedom and peace and joy and living life the way on your terms, having the life and relationships that you desire. You need to want that. You need to want it. You need to want it like you want it, like you want it. And then you need to choose it. again, I can't say that enough. You need to choose it because you're going to have to work for it, right? So one of the first things you're going to have to do is get really honest with yourself. You're going to want to be self-aware and get honest with yourself. Let me tell you, I don't care who you are, you have gifts inside of you. We all have them. Everybody has them. I have dug more than a few gifts up out of somebody that really thinks that they don't have them. And they're quite surprised that they're in there every time. I've had to do it with myself even. You know what, you can continually dig gifts out of yourself. They are there. There's treasure, hidden treasure inside of everybody. I don't believe we'd be here if we didn't have treasure to share with others. We all have it. This is for anyone and for everyone that wants it, by the way. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you're 5,000 pounds or if you're like super skinny or if you're really not what would be considered attractive, or you are attractive, or whatever your physical attributes are. It doesn't matter. Beauty shines from the inside out. It comes from the heart, and it does. I think everybody knows a person that's not really maybe all that physically attractive, but they are beautiful because you can see the spirit in them. It shines from the inside out. It just does, right? The other thing is get the right kind of help, right? I keep saying I'm going to do a show, maybe one of the next ones that's coming soon, but the difference between coaches and therapists and stuff like that. You know, the coaching industry has a bit of a bad rap, and there's a reason for that. And I'm going to go into that in another one of my shows for sure. Believe me, it's one of the topics I have on my list. But you know what, if you get with a good coach, so first of all, choose the right professional, figure out what that needs to be, right? And then choose the right person, because you know what? There's good and bad hairdressers, dentists, doctors, mechanics, coaches, therapists, psychologists, everybody, right? And there's good ones, there's bad ones. Then there's ones that can relate to you, the ones that you feel comfortable with. You're not going to be a match with everybody, so you want to make sure that it's a good match. Always make sure that they'll meet with you for free first for a consultation. A good professional that cares about what they do should give you some sort of a free consultation first or whatever, right? So make sure you find the right kind of help. The other thing is, we live in a world that at your fingertip, you can get help, right? You can Google spiritual sermons and messages, and there's some great talented people out there. Don't judge them for who they are, by the way. If it's spiritual, let God speak to them through you. There's a lot of people that have a great anointing on them. It's not necessarily their talents or who they are. It's the message that comes through them. Joel Esteem, Stephen Furtick, Joyce Myers, Joseph Prince, Daniel Darius, Robert Morris. There's so many. There's multiple ones that right there at 24/7 at your fingertips, right? Mainstream speakers, Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, Oprah, nobody. Search TED Talks, search what you're particularly looking for, right? There's all kinds of great speakers out there. There's all kinds of information. It's right there for you 24/7. Go listen, see if you're not spiritually inclined, then see what the universe has for you. You know, whatever it is that you need, it will come to you. You'll be surprised when there's when you hear that coincidental. It's like, oh my God, that's speaking right to me. Yeah, that's for you, right? So it's there for you, right? By the way, some of those mainstream speakers, they too tap into their spiritual side. They just don't say it, right? So it's amazing when you step out and just listen. When there's a coincidence and it's like, oh my God, they're talking right to me. I don't believe in coincidence, right? Yes, that message is for you, right? Books, you know what? There's all kinds of books. There's so many things in this day and age, and so many resources that you have, right? The last thing you can do nothing at all. Stay the way it is, status quo. It's your choice, right? If you really want to stay where you are and you don't want to make the change and you don't want to fight for yourself, then you can do that. You can stay status quo. There's nothing wrong with that. Number one, is knowing that you're unhappy, something's not right, and you want to make the change, and then following up by doing the steps and doing something to change it, right? Taking a step and making a difference. You know what? Making that choice. That's it. You know what? That's it. And speaking of that's it, that's where I'm going to stop it today, because I think, you know what, that's long enough. And I just, like I said, I didn't really have a subject for today, but I just thought this would be a good time to talk about that, and to, maybe try to reach somebody, because the reason I started coaching is because I wanted to help a lot of people that wouldn't ordinarily get the help. There's lots of professionals out there. People go and seek help, and sometimes, unfortunately, some people are in it just to make a living, right? We have to make a living. Yes, we have to make a living, but why not be passionate about what you're doing? So when you pick that professional, make sure that they have the passion that you're looking for, right? And I'm big on this. I'm really big on this. And the reason for me doing this show is because I want people out there to know that you're not alone in how you're thinking. When you have some of the things that I mentioned today and you're feeling that way, it's really easy to feel that you're the only one that feels that way. You're not. There's people that care. Reach out. Do what you have to do. If you're one that wants to figure it out for yourself, go ahead and do that. Like I said, at the touch of a finger, at your fingertips, there's all kinds of resources out there. If you want to work with somebody, somebody can help you get outside your own head, right? Because a really good coach, therapist, all that stuff can really see what you need and can help you just make that tweak, right? So that's it for now. I hope that that most of you are having a good day. If any of this touched you at all, I hope you'll take the proper steps to start taking control and stepping into your life and start living the life and relationships that you deserve to have, and the ones that you're meant to have, right? So that's it for now. I promise. Bye, and we will. I'll see you next time. I believe it's probably going to be Friday. It's going to be the next show. Okay. Have a great day, all. Bye for now.